And hey there folks, this is Uncle Troy, and today we are playing Minecraft Feed the Beast MindCrack edition. And today we are going to try doing something I've been meaning to do for a while, which is show you how to make a self-feeding electrical generator. And to do that we need a space to do so, and I think I'm going to put it right over here somewhere. So I will need some dirt, and naturally I did not gather up all the dirt I needed before I started. So we need to run back here to my base, a little hole in the wall. And let's see, how much stuff have we collected here recently? There we go, turn that off. Quite a bit actually. Diamonds, that's what I'm most proud of there. And of course, plenty of zirconium and a whole bunch of odds and ends that we don't need, including some dirt. And I'm going to fill in just a little bit of this here so that we can end up with a nice little place to build. Go away, go away, go away. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now to do this, we're going to make us a self-feeding place. You notice how this here, you've got us a switch which runs a pump, which takes our, oops, did not mean to do that. But it takes our redwood logs and circulates them around to the upper sides of these furnaces here. We're going to do pretty much the same thing to load the bottom of a generator. Go away. There we go. So first we need a generator. Do I have a generator handy? Iron furnace, extractor, no. No. Okay, so we need to make us a generator. How do we make us an electrical generator? Why is all this stuff loaded up? It should just be that right there. An electrical generator needs a iron furnace, 3 pieces of refined iron, and a RE battery. And an iron furnace needs basically just a bunch of iron ingots, or a furnace and a few iron ingots. So let's start by making us a iron furnace. And yes, I know we already have one here, but we're going to start from scratch. So let's go in here to our supplies. Do we have any iron? We do. And let's see, we'll probably need this battery. Well, we'll redo from scratch here. Start by making our iron furnace. So we'll need, and then now we need a battery. And you make a battery out of, if you have sulfuric acid. I don't have a sulfuric acid cell or pulverized lead or lead dust, but I do have some tin and some redstone and a piece of copper cable. Let's see, redstone and tin. We're almost out of tin. And click. Alright, so we need some tin. And I was just in that chest where we had the copper cable and did not pick that up. Actually, let's put the copper cable back and let's show you how to make copper. You need rubber and copper. And you make copper cable. Now to make a battery you need 4 pieces of tin, some redstone, and a copper cable. Battery. Now generator. Why all the, oh, that's why they're popping up. Look in their description. Apparently you can use all these wooden items to fuel a generator, so it pops up when you search for a generator. Alright, to do this we need a battery. We've got a battery. We need refined iron. We've got refined iron, and we need that iron furnace. And now we have us a generator. And we're going to put the generator over here. About right there, I think. Go away. Now the thing about a generator is if you put in something that's burnable, it burns it, and then it produces energy. And once the energy builds up high enough, then you can use it for other things. For example, if we had something that took a charge, we could put it right there and have it build up a charge. But right now, we are going to use it to fire up a bat box. And a bat box is a battery box. Bat box. And a battery box takes 3 batteries, copper cable, and some wood. So we need to make us 3 batteries. And I only have 1 handy. So to make batteries, we're going to need more tin. Do I have some tin ore? I do. And let's see. Let's just, oops, there's some more rubber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think is exactly how many we need. And I'll put the rest of this back, because tin is being fairly, what you call, stingy here lately. Alright, so we need to make some batteries, tin. Alright, we got everything we need here. So we just have to wait for our tin to smelt. And we're done. 8 tin ingots. Now, to make a bat box, or let's see, first of all, we need to make us a battery. Need 2 more batteries. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So now we have us 3 batteries. So if we click on the bat box, we need some wood. Naturally, I have no wood handy. Punch this. Doop. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of wood. We can do that. 2, 3, 5. Our 3 batteries and cable. Now we have us a bat box. And the bat box can accept power from a generator, and it feeds the power the direction that little arrow's on, or excuse me, that little dot is on. So this bat box is going to feed power that way. As you can see, we're almost up here to full power, and when we reach full power, in theory, the generator will stop sucking up juice, but currently it is trying to fuel this thing. So that will take a while, and that's going to suck all the power out we just put in there. So we could just keep putting more and more stuff in here, trying to keep this thing topped off, but that will require us to come back here and constantly monitor this. So wouldn't it be better if the generator could just get powered when the bat box needs energy? So we will do that. Let's see, the sun's going down, so let's do that tomorrow. Okay, here we are again. Let's gather up some stiff stone transport pipes, I think, maybe our levers and engines. And we've already got us some redstone. So, this here bat box has a redstone thing here, which changes to emit if full, emit if partially filled, emit if empty, do not output energy unless full, and do nothing. So I'm going to set this to emit if empty, which means when the bat box is empty, it will emit a redstone signal. For example, currently it is not emitting a redstone signal because you can tell the redstone is not lit up. If we, however, break this thing, pick it up and set it back down, unfortunately this causes us to lose our charge. So if we set her back to emit if empty, you can see that we have a signal now. So, let us suppose, I'm going to build this out a little more over here. And that's the ironic thing about Minecraft is you load up a program that creates these huge, wonderful worlds, these wonderful vistas, scenery, and then you just pave it under. But, so, let's see here. What we need is, do I have me a barrel. Yes, we have us a barrel. Just need one, thank you. And I'm going to put this barrel, wooden transport pipe, and a barrel on top of it. And over here, I am putting a redstone engine and a bit of redstone. So because this bat box is empty, and we've set it to output a signal while it is empty, it is powering this redstone engine, which would normally be pumping things, but as you can see, oops, quit doing that. As you can see, this thing has nothing in it right now. Let's break that before we do something stupid. Now, generators like to have things in the bottom, so let's take us some, oops, wrong button, there we go. Take us some stone transport pipe and go click, click, click. And then we're going to fill this back in. Alright, now fairly simple design. You say, what have we accomplished? Well, let's go over here and grab us a few stacks of charcoal. Put those in. And now if we add this here bit of redstone, you can see that the bat box, being empty, is emitting a charge out this redstone here, which is turning on this pump, which is pumping things from the bottom of this barrel fairly slowly, but it should go into the generator anytime now. There we go. And now that it has started filling up the bat box, the little signal has turned off and this pump has stopped flowing. So it puts about 4 or 5 charcoals into this bat box. And as you can see, the generator is generating and the bat box is getting charged. Now this probably will not bring the bat box up to full charge, but it will be enough for our purposes. Yep, still going. As you can see, we're no longer fueling the generator. Now you may say, why do you bother this? Why don't you just fill this thing full and then let it power the bat box? And what I determined was that if the bat box is not completely full, the generator will try to charge it and will keep going until it fills the bat box and it completely fills this gauge here. Now the problem with that is that if the gauge goes down just a little, like the bat box just drew a little power to send off to something else, then the generator will try to top off its bar and will run the next thing of charcoal or redwood log or whatever it is you're fueling this thing with. And the problem with that is it will burn, even if it didn't need the full amount, it will burn up the complete item, or at least that's what I think it's doing. Alright, so it just so happens that that was enough to give us exactly half the bat box level. Now what you could do is move this, oops, did not mean to do that, but move this a little further over so it took longer for the coal, or charcoal in this case, to get into the generator. And instead of 4 or 5, we need like 8 or 10. And that will completely top off the bat box. But the bat box is pretty good as it is. Alright, now we need something to charge in the bat box. And I think I would like to make a jetpack for this world. I have not made one in this world. Electric jetpack or a regular jetpack. The electric one's one we want. So this requires another bat box, some refined iron, an advanced circuit, and some glowstone dust. More glowstone dust. And I haven't been to the Nether yet, so let's think of something else that could use power. How about a compressor? No, an extractor. That's what we need, it's an extractor. And where did I put my extractor? There it is, an extractor. Alright, so as not to put this right next to the bat box and have room to put more stuff later, we'll put our extractor, say... Oops, you're in the way. We'll put our extractor right here. And what's an extractor good for? Well, an extractor is good for creating rubber. So let's go over. We've got a rubber tree farm right over here. Let's see. Did I see a? Yes, I saw a tree tap there, but unfortunately, he's about wore out. So we need to make us a couple more. There we go. And actually, I've got enough for one more. So let's go over here and tree tap us some rubber. Hopefully the rubber trees have, yes, they've made us some rubber. And let's see, that used up that tree tap. Oop. And the tree tap's a wonderful thing. Otherwise, the only way to get rubber from these rubber trees is to actually cut down the tree, which unfortunately means you have to replant a tree. And that's sometimes difficult because sometimes these rubber trees are real stingy with the saplings they drop. Alrighty, we picked up 34 bits of sticky resin, which we can now turn into rubber just as soon as the sun comes up again. Let's take a nap. Hello, Scott. Is it morning already? Now, if we were to throw this into a plain old furnace like this, we would end up with 34 pieces of rubber, which is, you know, not too bad, mind you, but it's not what we could get if we throw this into an extractor. Because the extractor can turn one piece of sticky resin into, wait for it, yes, 3 pieces of rubber. So that gives us a 3-to-1 advantage. Now, unfortunately, this fairly sucks the power, but that's why we've used this here, because the generator currently has no coal, no power stored up. Everything it created has gone into the bat box. The plan is, once the bat box gets down to 0, it will signal the pump to start pumping more charcoal into the generator, and that will allow us to continue processing our sticky resin into rubber. But that will take a few minutes. So I will be back with you shortly when that has happened. Okay, so I was about to say that we're about to go down to empty and see this thing in action, but it looks like we have completely filled up our extractor. I went out and found another tree tap and got a few more sticky resins just so we could be ready here. I also decided to make an electric furnace as long as we've got a source of electricity now. Okay, it looks like that extractor is going full blast now. So we will be ready here in about 12 more ticks. 11 more ticks, 10 more ticks. I hope this worked right the first time, otherwise I'll have to try again. Okay, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. There it goes. So because it has run out of power, and unfortunately that means our compressor here will get like one more good compression done, maybe, or extractor rather, as it runs low on power, because it's going to take a few seconds for this coal to get in here to the furnace, or excuse me, to the generator, although the generator has a furnace built in. There he goes. Now he started generating, and now you'll see that the bat box is starting to gain a charge. And a few more pieces of charcoal will go into the generator, but the bat box now has enough power to not only power this extractor, but also to add more charge. But what if we add a little more strain? Let's say we want to make us an electric furnace. So I have already made an electric circuit here, and we will add this to our iron furnace from before. And achievement get, even hotter topic. Woohoo! Let's put this iron or electric furnace right here. And let's say we want to turn these redwood logs into charcoal. Bloop. So as you can see, we're sucking up power here and here. And that is kind of holding steady. The bat box is not gaining as much power as it was. But we still got a little bit of charcoal here to go. So the generator is going to keep going for a little longer. But the sun's going down, so let's take another nap and then see how things look in the morning. Alrighty, so this generator here has just ran out of coal. I mean, this bat box is no longer gaining power, it's actually losing power again. And because we're running two machines here, this extractor and this electric furnace, it is going to be losing power faster. Maybe it will run it completely down, maybe not sure. Depends on how much stuff we extract and smelt, convert, burn, whatever you call it here. But I'm hoping it will run out again so we can see this thing operate again. Now, of course, a bat box is the lowest level of storage. It only holds up to 40,000 units of power. And we're powering it with a single generator here. Now, what we could do is have multiple generators connected with the copper wire here, feeding either multiple bat boxes or one of the higher tier, what are they called? I think MSE, maybe? No. MFE? Yes. MFE, which uses energy crystals and a machine block and gold cables, and it holds quite a bit more. And then there's the MFSU, which uses lapatronic crystals and an MFE in the middle, and that holds like 10 million or something like that, which is way over what we need here at the very beginning of the game. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Signal starts to pump and starts pumping out of our barrel here. And sometimes the barrel updates when things are pumped out of it, and sometimes it doesn't. It looks like today it's going to be doing that. And we should see when the generator starts kicking power into our bat box here. But as you can see now, we are sucking out power about as fast as it's coming in. Which means although our items or our things are running here, the bat box is just not gaining much ground. Okay, finally he gained some ground and it stopped pumping. So again, that put 4 or 5 pieces of charcoal into the generator. Now, if we had like 1 or 2 more pieces of machinery sitting here, causing an even greater drain on the bat box, and it would sit there pretty much empty for a lot longer, putting a signal out for much longer and causing more charcoal to be pumped out of the barrel into the generator. And you might want that. In fact, you could set this thing to emit a signal anytime it's not full, or set it to emit when full and then invert the signal before it got to the pump. Or we could replace this with a Stirling engine, which runs off charcoal and pumps things like 40 at a time, and that would fill up the generator much faster, but that kind of kills the whole we're trying to use the minimum amount of charcoal thing. Okay, it looks like our extractor here is finished. So we turned a few sticky resins into a lot of rubber. Our electric furnace is still going, still sucking the power, but that might run out of stuff before we run out of power, so let's go over here and grab another stack. As you can see, I picked up some more charcoal, turned it into experience, which is why I now have 47 levels. But we need to top this off before we turn it off, which it is slowly doing because I'm just using a redstone engine here instead of my Stirling engine. I've got that set up over there somewhere for the mining. So let's top off on the redwood here. These slots are for upgrades. For example, we have an overclocker upgrade, which requires coolant cells and copper cable and electronic circuits. And I don't have any coolant cells right now. Coolant cell is a water capsule surrounded by tin, and I'm out of tin. So, well, actually I'm not out of tin, but I'm running low enough that I'm not sure I want to make more tin right now. Oh. Are we out yet? Are we out yet? No, we're not out yet. But the point being is, with the overclocker, you can run this thing faster. And it will run, I forget how much each overclocker, and you can stack like 4 in a stack here. 4 in a slot. So that's like 16 overclockers, but I don't think it's, that quit because that's full. So hey, we've got 64 more charcoal. Let's just stick it over here. But you can put up to like 16 overclockers over here, but and every overclocker makes it a little bit faster and suck a lot more power. But after like 3 or 4, it's really not worth the extra effort. But I don't want to smelt any more tin until I make a macerator. Yeah. Now a macerator unfortunately requires diamonds and machine blocks and etc. So it's not a trivial investment. But even so, people say they're overpowered because they let you double your ores. Alrighty. Run out of energy. Power up the old pump here. Slowly, and unfortunately, this guy's going to pause while that's catching up. There we go. And once it starts creating energy, you'll see this redstone flicker a bit and then go out. There it goes. And again, we put about 4 or 5 charcoal into this generator, which will charge this bat box up to a certain level, then allow it to go back down to 0 once this furnace is finished. Yes, that stopped. And if you don't like the fact that it might pause a little when the bat box runs out of energy, you can, like I said, set this longer so that more charcoal ends up in the pipe and the generator gets overstocked more than it needs to keep the bat box charged. But then, like I was saying, when the bat box draws a little power, the generator tries to fill it, and then it may burn an entire piece of charcoal for just a tiny sliver of power. That's why we got this whole thing set up here. I designed this back when I was still running on coal and was very, very concerned I would run out of coal. That's about all we have time for today. I'm going to watch the sun go down while my automated system continues to keep the generator topped off, and we continue to create more charcoal to feed the generator, to keep the battery box topped off, to create more charcoal. Sounds to me like you're working for your car, man. Thumbs up to anybody who gets that reference. This is Uncle Troy signing out. Please have a good night.